How's it going, guys? Welcome to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to a very difficult choice. So, recap real quick. We've had our finale. We had the end of the story till the next game. However, we have a alternate reality which we're playing through as a Kato who's sent back in time by Claude the God, time, of course. And we're trying to change what happened at the Liberation Day Massacre. But we're in the final battle. We got hit by a torpedo, and there's a crewman right outside our hatch where we're hiding who could be saved if we get out there, but we may blow our cover if we do so. I had to debate about this. At the time, I initially might have just not blown our cover. However, I've decided we're going to save the crewman. Now, my reasoning for this is we are the captain of this ship. Regardless of the fact that there's a duplicate of us on the ship, our duty is to the lives of the crew. They are counting on us, and just because we are sent back in time and it's critical that we aren't discovered, we can't just let them die. I don't know how, this could be a terrible decision, but I'm going to go with my gut on this one, and I think I would have to save him. I don't know, maybe knock him unconscious or something, but at least save his life. Anyway, so let's do that. I'm still the captain of this ship. I can't hide in this hole like a coward when my crewmen are risking their lives out there. With that, Sheilds pushed the gate open and left the tunnel. Ah, Captain, where are you? I'm not going to let the member of the ship die. Ah, Captain. Ignoring Claude's protest, Sheilds pulled a hose from the wall and battled the flames which were fast approaching the wounded technician. When Sheilds finally reached him, he knelt down and checked his vitals. Still alive. Good. Sheilds hoisted the technician up and carried him towards the other crew. Captain? The deckhand's eyes widened in shock as the captain of the ship emerged from the flames and passed him an unconscious crewman. Make sure he gets to sickbay. That's an order, sailor. The deckhand's training took control, and he snapped to attention. Sir! Sheilds gritted his teeth. He had to lead the damage control operations here. Without warning, the ship shook again. That sounds like a chainsaw. This time he heard the sound of the mechanical sawing, as if something was cutting through the hull of the ship. What the? Oh. Suddenly, the shielding gave way, and a hunter drone dropped down, spraying the hull with bullets. Sheilds barely had time to take cover behind some debris when two crewmen were cut down by bullets before his very eyes. Hunter drones? The heck? Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, that was the flash of the memory. That scared me again. The arrival of the hunter drones triggered another memory. No, he couldn't afford to get distracted here. He had to retrieve some instructions about invasion drones during his training, but you'd figured they saw the limited practical applications after never encountering one in the field. Indeed, this was the first time he'd ever seen them deployed during ship-to-ship operations. Crap. This just makes my life that much more complicated. If I don't do something here, then the drone's gonna massacre everyone on this deck. But right now, I'm totally unarmed. Sheilds looked around and saw a pistol laying beside a fallen crew member. It would take far more than that to take the mechanized hunter drone, but it was something. I think grab the pistol and fall back. An outward assault against a obviously outgunned, not a great idea. No matter how he considered the tactical scenario, a group of crewmen and captain armed with nothing but pistols were no match for the mechanical hunter drone. They had to perform a tactical retreat. Sheilds shouted orders to the other crewmen. Everyone fall back! Find cover! That drone will tear you apart! Sir! Sheilds took the repair crew quickly fell back, coming to an airlock gate. They should hold that drone back. Once everyone ran through the gate, Sheilds pounded the close button, dropping an 8-inch thick wall of steel between themselves and the drone. Everyone dropped to their knees in relief. Sheilds took the opportunity to survey the situation. Any of you have any heavy weapons? No, sir! Fire Control Crew C, reporting for duty. All we have are sidearms. The closest armory is 300 meters from here. Come on, let's go. Just as Sheilds spoke these words, the ear-shattering explosion shook the airlock. The steel gate dented inward, as if it had just been pounded by a titan. The drone was still armed with anti-armor cannon. This gate wasn't going to hold forever. Come on, everyone. Move, move, move! The crewmen and Sheilds ran as fast as their feet would carry them away from the gate, but it was too late. On fetch. With another chest-bursting explosion, the reinforced steel gate burst behind them in a massive fireball. I hope we don't die. I hope we don't die. Duck and cover! Sheilds slammed the young repairman who looked fresh out of school against the wall just as the drone sprayed the hall with lead. He looked around. Was this their end? If only they had a grenade or something. Captain! Suddenly he saw Claude running down the hall with an enormous bazooka over her shoulder. That's the way! Sheilds peppered the drone with small orange fire, drawing its attention away from Claude. Claude knelt down on one knee to stabilize the bazooka and took aim. They don't call me Boobs Rocket for nothing! The rocket shot out from the front of the bazooka. If she fires like she aims in like normal combat, we're in trouble. Fired the front of the bazooka, recoiled, knocking Claude flat on her back and missed the drone spectacularly. Of course, I called it. Digging a massive cavity into the ceiling of the hallway. Sheilds hissed through his teeth. You idiot! Oh. Just then, a massive steel beam fell from the ceiling, thanks to the force of the rocket's explosion, and pinned the drone down. Huh? Sheilds took the opening to roll to where Claude was lying on the floor and picked up the bazooka. He took aim and scored a direct hit on the drone's control tower. Yes. With a satisfying explosion, the drone's brain burst, spewing fire and steel in every direction. The husk of the now dead mechanical beast finally lost power and went limp. With an enormous exhale, Sheilds dropped the bazooka to his side. The other crew members poked their head out from cover in disbelief, slowly their expressions turning from white terror to exhilaration. Captain! You did it! You saved us all! Captain! 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 Sheilds suddenly realized that the crew chanting his name in the hallway may not be in his best interest. Anyways, what are you doing here with Fire Crew C? He looked around, now searching for the best way to beat the hasty exit. I have to get back to the bridge. Good work, Fire Crew C. Did you hear that? The captain said we did good work. Of course he did, kid. We rest our necks every day to keep this ship safe. Ha ha ha! I'm gonna tell everyone in the mess hall about this. Oh, fetch. Sheilds and Claude beat it while the crew laughed among themselves. He looked back. Despite blowing his cover, he smiled in spite of himself. He had no regrets. Yet. T-minus 53 hours before Liberation Day Massacre. Gah! Sheilds had enough of this nightmarish situation. He stood up and emerged from the cargo crate, taking a huge breath of fresh air. He just spent the past 6 hours cooped up inside a small cargo crate with Claude. Oh, I'm sure that was fun. If the ship had shook, it jostled as it engaged in invasive maneuvers and took hits until he felt like he was about to suffocate against Claude's voluptuous body. For what seemed like an eternity, he suffered indignity after indignity, while Claude seemed to thoroughly enjoy every moment of his suffering. Why is she the god of time? Why? Why did it have to be her? Though I suppose if someone were to be the god of time, they'd probably become very frivolous as well. I don't know. Jeez. It's like trying to save the universe with Q. Just not gonna work. Feeling thoroughly violated, he stepped out into the outside world, feeling like a man re-emerging into society after a long prison sentence. Thoroughly violated. What an apt description. The ship had now returned to condition yellow. For now, it appeared the battle had concluded. That's when they went back to resupply. After checking the situation was clear, he pulled Claude from the crate. Come on, the coast is clear. We need to regroup with Ava. Let's go. We're about to... I bet she's gonna lay a smackdown on us because she's like, I'm hearing rumors about you. The two of them made their way to the bridge. Crap, we better tread carefully. The other Kato Sheilds is still on the bridge. All hell will break loose when I wander in. Claude, poke your head into the bridge and to tell if me and my other self are inside. Alright. Well, isn't she dead by this point? Claude leaned into the bridge and looked around. Sure enough, he saw Ava occupied. She saw Ava occupied while speaking with the other Sheilds. No go, Captain. The commander's busy talking with your other version. Dang it. Sheilds pondered his options. Ava would have foreseen something like this happening. Maybe she left us a clue somewhere else. Come on, I have an idea where to search next. Sheilds led Claude back up to Deck 0. Sheilds stopped in front of the Executive Order's quarters and swiped his command ID on the door reader. To his relief, the gate opened. And also logged the fact that... Oh, good. Looks like Ava's prepared ahead of time. He snuck in and found a note on the opposite side of the door. Pursuing a possible lead. We'll rendezvous later. Godspeed. But Ava, you forgot to tell me just where this lead was. Ugh, this doesn't help me much. He stepped back outside and spoke to Claude. It looks like Ava's onto something, but doesn't quite know what yet. We'll have to proceed without her for now. You know, I don't know about that woman, Captain. Sheilds ignored Claude's doubts. If I recall correctly, Chigara is in sickbay right now. The Liberty suffered a hit to its shoulder maneuver. The Liberty suffered a hit to its shoulder maneuvering valve during the battle in my timeline. If history's still playing back the same way as before, then the other Kato Shields would have admitted her to the sickbay just to be on the safe side, despite Chigara not sustaining any major injuries. This is the best chance we'll have at capturing her. We'll just go to sickbay right now and take her. Actually, there's another problem. There's also currently another Claude Trelio in the sickbay right now, tending to Chigara as we speak. What? Aw, isn't it obvious? My old self exists in this timeline as well, piloting the Bianca and serving as the ship's loony doctor. She wouldn't just disappear because I time warped here. It's true. Sheilds rubbed his head. So there's another wrinkle in his plan. Well, your past self's a time traveler too, right? So why wouldn't you just walk up to her and explain the situation? Sorry, Captain. But there are certain reasons why I can't do that. It might be related to the fabric of the universe tearing right in half. In fact, I think it'd be best if I remain out of sight from my past self for the duration of my stay here. For all our sakes. What the heck is Claude getting at here? Paradox problems. Captain, aren't you also forgetting about something else? If we remove Chigara from the battle tomorrow, then we might not be able to achieve the victory celebrations. That's right. If we prevent Chigara from entering the mainstream and restoring the control of the Fontana's ships tomorrow, we'll effectively be signing our own death warrants when we also are slaughtered tomorrow with the very packed ships that were supposed to reinforce us. Unless... if we were to somehow send an encrypted transmission to Fontana now, warning him of the Trojan, then he could potentially start devising a countermeasure right now. At the very least, he could pull his forces back so the prototypes can't use their ships against us. There's an encrypted FTL communicator in my office. I could use that. One more thing. If Chigara just vanishes from the sickbay, it's only a matter of time until someone realizes what's happening. If the other Kato Shield hears that his love has just up and vanished, he's going to be launching the ship-wide search for her. No, I think it's right. Oh no. Oh no. We'll just take the risk. We have to kidnap Chigara as soon as possible, and there's no time to waste. Or there is a certain body double sitting in our brig right now who looks almost identical to Chigara. Oh, I don't like either one of these options. They're bad. Because it's either we kidnap her and we jeopardize tomorrow. Like we can't do that. Or there is the evil one. I don't know what on earth that would become, but like, switch their places? That wouldn't work either. Oh, fetch, man. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna safety save. For time's sake. I don't want to have to come back to this and, like, be screwed and having to replay all the way through where we just were. Okay. Oh, fetch. She's got a good point about ship-wide search. Chigara, where would we even put her? We could switch them, though. We could... Oh, I hate it. I hate every inch of it, but let's do it. We could put Lynn under, and then swap her with Chigara in the sickbay. Unless someone were to take a really close look, no one would be able to tell the difference until Lynn wakes up. Understood, Captain. Okay, so here's the plan. You go down to the brig and pretend you're this timeline's doctor. Convince the guards that Lynn has contracted a nasty case of the sarin measles and needs immediate medical attention. Then cart a sedated Lynn to deck 0, handcuffed to a medical trolley. Meanwhile, I'll go to sickbay, distract your other self. I'm sure it'll be a piece of cake. While I'm doing that, sneak into the sickbay, swap Chigara with Lynn. Once you grab Chigara, fall back to crew quarters 8, which is currently unoccupied. Secure Chigara there and wait for me to arrive. I'll try to beat a hasty retreat as soon as I can. Once we've regrouped, you'll run to the mess hall and call the other Kato Shields out, distract him while I sneak into my office and contact Fontana on the FTL con. We'll then regroup back at crew quarter 8 and relocate Chigara to a maintenance room D4. Wow, he knows the ship like the back of his freaking hand. Did you get all that? Understood, Captain. Alright, good luck. Claude crashed into the brig with a medical trolley, startling the guards. We've got a medical emergency! What? Is something the matter, Doctor? It looks like a prototype prisoner's contracted a severe case of the Syrian measles. We've got to get her to sickbay on the double before she becomes contagious. We weren't informed of... Oh, look here! This is a medical emergency. Do you think we have time to fill paperwork for that? Claude loomed over the security guard. Do you even know what catching the Syrian measles is like, Sergeant? First, you lose bowel control. You'll be experiencing the most explosive and uncontrollable diarrhea of your life for 3 days. But that's not even the worst of it. From the 3rd day on, hives will break out all over your body. Pus and blood will slowly leak out everywhere. If left untreated, you'll suffer permanent muscle damage and ultimately death. Crap. The doctor's right. My niece really died 4 years ago of the same thing. That's gotta be some nasty crap. You sure you want to keep the prototype here, Sarge? Alright. You made your point, Doctor. Get in quarantine to sickbay. Roger. Claude approached Lynn in her cell. Looks like you'll be coming with me. I'm afraid you've contracted a very, very serious virus. Well, what? I don't feel... That's what they all say. But in a few hours, you'll be painting the walls. You'll be thanking me for this later. I'll just sedate you a bit. Oh, what? You fool! I didn't... Claude pushed a few buttons on the cell's controls, releasing sleeping gas into the cell. Lynn's eyes lost focus and she dropped to the floor unconscious. One flaw of the plan. I wonder if prototypes are susceptible to this stuff as normal people. The brig security staff secured Lynn on top of the medical trolley, handcuffing her to the railing. Claude caught her out with a smile. Nobody asks any questions when explosive diarrhea is involved. It's true. T-minus 52 hours. 16 hours till Chigara enters the mine stream. Sheilds entered the sickbay. He had to distract this timeline's Claude long enough for his partner to nab Chigara out from under her nose. He grimaced to discover that Chigara was sleeping just 2 beds away from where Claude was working in her office. This was going to be harder than expected. But he had an idea. He pretended to walk over to Chigara, standing over her like he was concerned for her health. As expected, old Claude sniffed out his presence like a canine and crept up behind him. Huh? She wrapped her arms around him from behind and put her face on his shoulder, tickling his ear with her pink wavy hair. Ugh, this woman wears too much perfume. Oh, Captain, I'm afraid Chigara is still sedated. You'll have to wait just a few more hours until she wakes up. I can understand why you'd want her back on her feet as soon as possible. The desperate look on the maiden's face as she sneaks into your quarters at the loneliest hours of the night for the last dressed before the final battle. Oh gosh. Chigara doesn't know she'll make it back. Just in case, I want to feel Captain... I can imagine it all playing out like I'm watching a movie. Okay, here's my chance. Sheilds slumped down as if dejected and let out a long sigh. I just don't know, Doctor. Huh? Don't know what? Well, I'm actually here for counseling. You're the ship's acting medical officer, right? So your duties also include looking after the mental health of the ship's crew, as well as their physical health? Well, yes, that's certainly true. I've been wanting to talk to you, Doctor. It's about Chigara, but I can't talk about it here, in front of her. Of course. Let me just get to my office and pull the cover closed. Oh, this is dangerous territory. You can tell all Claude anything, Captain. Claude practically pushed Sheilds into her office and drew the sliding wall closed, giving them both some privacy. Yes, it worked! Oh no, it worked! Now, what's the nature of the counseling you need, Captain? Well, it's just things are moving so quickly. Ah, I didn't mean to click that. It's been just over a week since we kissed for the first time, and she's already talking about things like marriage and children. Whenever she talks about how many babies she wants to have, I have to wonder, is this really the life I want for myself? I'm ashamed to even look at myself in the mirror, Doctor. I can't believe I'm having these doubts right now. Ooh, Captain, don't you worry about a thing. It's completely normal to have unexpressed doubts when your partner advances a relationship too quickly. In fact, it's only inevitable because of the enormous amount of stress you two are under right now. All she cares about is her bakery. I don't even know if I'm that good at baking bread. Aww. I'm a starship captain for crying out loud, Doc. I worked my butt off in this commission. But to just up and retire early for baking? But whenever she talks about that ruddy bakery, she has that dreamy look on her face. And I just end up going along with it every time. Where's my input, Doc? Lately I feel like I'm being railroaded down a certain path without me saying what I want. Oh, Alberta. It's like all my choices have just up and vanished. They did. There were like no choices in the game. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so meta. It's delicious. Before this, I used to be a free man. I used to be able to make command decisions. I used to be able to rip up rule books. Right now, I just feel like I've been chained to the doghouse. I feel like it's like all the comments that people were making of the game. I'm sure, like all the nasty ones. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh. After the battle, why don't you try talking to her about this, Captain? The root causes your problem with Chigara are more likely to stress of the coming battle. Because you're both indecisive and instinctively afraid of what may happen, Chigara may be rushing things ahead of what she may normally be comfortable with as well. Alright, Doc. I'll try that. Claude leaned in with a gentle smile and rubbed Sheilds' back. Uh-oh, here we go. Buckle up. You have a lot on your shoulders, Captain. But don't worry. Don't forget, if things don't work out with Chigara, there's always a lovely doctor in your sickbay willing to alleviate your worries. Casually hitting on your mentally distressed patients? Doctor, you're absolutely the worst. Anyways, that should have been enough time for the distraction. I better beat a hasty exit out of here. Just as Sheilds was about to call it quits, he spotted a strange-looking hollow next to him at Claude's shelf. Of all the hollows on board the ship were now standard issue Alliance stock. However, this hollow clearly looked to be of a different make. Now, what do we have here? For some reason, I have a feeling there's something important on that hollow. Maybe it's related to the memories I've temporarily lost? But do I risk blowing my cover to try to steal it? Ooh. Oh, the hollow! The hollow! That's what Ava finds, and Ava finds it and, like, figures out that, like, what's going on. That's why she, like, appeared, because she kind of pieced together that there's something going on, but, ooh, do I steal it? Yes, I'm going to totally steal it, but I'm going to safety save, because I don't want to, well, I mean, I could just click my way through the rest of this, but I'd like to just make this simple. I know it's cheap. I'm sorry. The hollow could contain something vital to restoring the rest of my memories, to get my hands on it. I don't like the music that's playing right now, though. Sheilds suddenly leaned forward and buried his hand into her bosom. That's the one way to do it. Alright, Doctor. Thanks for the chat. I feel a lot better now. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Oh, Captain! Claude smiled ear to ear as she took the opening to stroke his hair. Her attention was thoroughly diverted as Sheilds reached backward with one hand and swiped her hollow off the desk. He hid the hollow behind him as he stood. I should head back to work. See you around. Anytime, Captain. Let me open the cover. No need. Looks like you have a lot of work to do in your office. Sheilds opened the sliding door himself and left Claude in her office, closing the door behind him. As he walked out, he confirmed that their operation was successful. He marched out of the sick bay, a mischievous grin plastered all over his face, I'm guessing. As he walked through the crew quarters 8, Sheilds activated the hollow and searched through its contents. Now let's see what our past doctor's been up to. His blood went cold when he saw what was inside. From what he could deduce, there were hundreds of message logs inside the hollow containing Claude's reports on what was occurring on board the Sunrider ever since she first came on board, as well as detailed instructions from the prototypes. Oh, right. Oh, this is going to change some stuff. And a medical report proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Chigara was indeed a prototype. Suddenly, more memories played back in Sheilds' head. I've come to suspect that there is a great deal of information that our chief medical officer is hiding. What do you mean? I believe Claude was actually the one who's been relaying our movements to the prototypes. Crap, I remember now. Claude's been working with the prototypes all along. He searched through the remaining data inside the hollow. Finally, he came upon a file which only contained a cryptic message. The future can only be saved by destroying everything. Well, that sure sounds ominous. What exactly does it mean? I have to hurry back to the future Claude and confront her about this. Yeah, this is oof. With that, he quickened his pace to crew quarters 8. It also would be great to leave that Somewhere where the captain could get it. Or, like, hand it to Ava and have Ava give it to the captain saying she found it in the, like ooh. Ooh. Sheilds knocked on the ostensibly unoccupied crew quarters while the coast was clear. He tapped the intercom and whispered, "It's me. Open up." The door opened and Sheilds slipped inside. "You're back. As you can see, the plan went exactly as planned." Yay. He saw Chigara tied up to a chair, still unconscious from the sedation. Oh, that's sad. Despite successfully kidnapping Chigara, Sheilds had no cause to celebrate. "Doc, you're gonna have to explain yourself." He pulled out the holo. "I found this in your old self's office. You've been communicating with the prototypes all this time, haven't you? There's a message on this holo giving away all of our movements to the enemy, and even a medical report which you wrote, completely invalidating the other report you gave me that Chigara was not a prototype." It's all true. I was aligned with the prototypes during this time frame. But that was me in the past. Poor Claude's turned a new leaf now. I'm fighting for the good guys. Why were you working for the prototypes during that time period? A simple alignment of interests, that's all. I sought to rally the galaxy around you, just like the prototypes. But after the Liberation Day massacre occurred, I realized our interests diverged. That's when I left them and took the matters into my own hands. The prototypes wanted what? Yes, they sought to make you the leader of humanity, but to control you as a puppet, so they would rule in your stead. But let's just say the plan never quite panned out, due to a division within the prototypes themselves. That's quite a lot to take in. I was fine with helping the prototypes accomplish that, but then the massacre happened. That doesn't get you off the hook yet. I also found this inside the holo. Sheilds opened up the final file and showed it to Claude. The future can only be saved by destroying everything. What does this mean? Now, look, you finally discovered the hardest part of this mission. It's pretty complicated to explain, but the skinny of it is, basically, if we were to succeed in this mission and thwart Liberation Day massacre, both this universe and the past universe where we come from will collapse and cease to exist. What? Wait, what? Wait, what? If we were to succeed in this mission and thwart the Liberation Day massacre, both this universe and the past universe where we come from will collapse and cease to exist. As it turns out, the space-time continuum is really sensitive in time paradoxes and resolves them quite forcefully. Well, yeah. Collapse? You mean we'll all die anyways if we win? What's the heck the point of that? Oh, you're thinking like a human. No, you will simply be wiped from existence. Dying is a natural phenomenon which must inevitably happen to all life forms. But this is entirely different concept from the never existing at all. You traveled here from the future, which the Liberation Day massacre occurred in order to prevent it. But if you succeed in your mission, the Kato Shield to travel back in time which ceased to exist, as the massacre now never takes place. So then, who would be the man who stopped this massacre? A true logical conundrum. In other words, a time paradox. Yes, there are ways around it, but you have, like, okay. I'm gonna get this. We're running low on time, so I'm gonna give you a quick skinny, wrap this up, and then we'll be done. So, okay, here's how you go around it. Yes, original timeline. Boom, going forward, had this thing. We had that conclusion. That's what that finale episode was. That timeline is secured. Then Claude grabs a copy of that Kato Shields, because she creates a divergence where she grabs one, because that timeline will continue forward. It just will. She grabs a copy, effectively, pulls him back, hops him into a different dimension. Well, actually, no. There's a dimension that we play through this, the main timeline. Then there's another dimension where Claude takes him, and that universe continues on without him. He just will vanish, but the rest of the universe continues forward. Then that one is ripped into a third dimension where he's placed back earlier in the timeline. And as soon as he is introduced to that timeline, that dimension would then split off as an alternate dimension. Thus, what she's saying is true. If we were sharing the same timeline, it technically does hold to that, but technically that wouldn't have even been possible, according to physics as we understand it. Like the implosion of the paradox would already occur just by introducing an element of another shield. But if we create an alternate timeline by introducing Sheilds, thus preserving the original two timelines, which the normal timeline and the Sheilds got ripped away from timeline, and have a third timeline that's involved, then that timeline could be stable with two Kato Sheilds, as long as the second Kato Sheilds doesn't try and go back to his original dimension. That wouldn't work too great. He's permanently removed. He can't go back. And this dimension will permanently have two Kato Sheilds. But even if you can get around it with that loophole, like, it would be very unstable, especially if the two met before the overlap of the timeline. But that's the best I can think of how this would happen. So anyway, let's move on to see what she says. So, then, is the future really impossible to change? A future can be changed. That's why I brought you here. And at the end of this journey, you must make a choice. Either you stop the Liberation Day massacre from occurring, and avert the tragedy which befalls upon everyone, and destroy this universe, and the universe you came from, and replace them with a new universe you create with your decision. Okay, yeah, so she's saying, like, you usually fracture, deleting those two, and you create a third. So I guess they can't continue on. Or, you let the massacre occur, accept the tragedy, then this universe will remain untouched and connected with your timeline. The universe you know will continue to exist, for better or for worse. You're telling me, if I go through with this, everyone I know will vanish from the face of the universe, but then a new universe with copies of those same people will be created. That's the gist of it, yes. And that's the reason why I brought you here. The key here is that the law of causality does everything in its power to resolve the time paradoxes. And it does that by deleting the universe where the time paradox occurs, and then creating a new universe which can then logically continue to exist from that point on. In this case, you and everyone in the universe, as well as everyone in the universe where the massacre occurred, would be wiped from existence, thus eliminating the time paradox. But then a new universe, where the massacre never occurred, would be born, and everyone would still exist in that universe, completely oblivious to the fact that a massacre ever occurred, or that there was a desperate mission to prevent it. Then we can still save everyone, by creating this new universe where the massacre isn't prevented, but simply never existed at all. Ah, now you're understanding how this all works, Captain. Tee-hee. Basically, in this circumstance, I intentionally sought to create a time paradox, in order to manipulate the law of causality into destroying the universe you didn't want, and in creating one you did want. Well, it was pretty drastic, but it's not like there's nothing out there that can stop me, so It's pretty convenient, this little quirk that the law of causality has. I've been using it to create and destroy universes for... I forget. I'm immortal. Who knows how long I've been doing this? Well, what's real at this point then anyway? I mean, whatever. Anyway, now that your choices have been laid out in front of you, do you want to choose Kato Sheilds, hero of the galaxy? That's the entire reason why I brought you here. All of this is so I can watch you more. I want to watch you run around, fighting desperately against impossible odds. I want to see the tears in your eyes when you fail, the euphoria cursing in your veins when you're victorious. Cruising through your veins, not cursing. The biggest the stakes, the more torturous your dilemmas, the mightier your enemies, the more I want you to fight. Because it brings me so much pleasure watching you in action. Aww. Claude's entire body flushes bright red as she squirmed her legs. Oh, jeez. I think I might... Holy crap. Claude, you... She's toying with me, just like always. Come to think of it, was there ever a moment where she wasn't playing with me like a fiddle during the whole time I've known her? Ah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to do. I think we're going to have to just keep working with Claude. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because it's time to wrap up. So thank you for being a part of this episode once again. Ooh, this is getting fun. I hope you don't mind my blarbing jargon coming thrown at you about quantum physics and entanglements and paradoxes. But it is pretty fun. This is kind of stuff I love to think about. So I'm like so excited for this series. So let me know what you think. Do you think we should just toss her aside? Or should we just stick with her despite the creepiness of her intentions? But, and until I hear from you guys, I don't know. Maybe you guys can change my mind if you got some persuasive arguments. But no spoilers. That's the rule. Dang it. I'm going to do my best to avoid them. Thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful having you here. You're the reason why this channel is so great. So until the next video you watch or whatever you see me in next, I'll see you there.